Hi everybody, Buck coming to you again, and the topic of this video is going to be called the importance of training. You know, one of the things that literally blows my mind away is when I talk to a new person who isn't sure if they should plug into our system and go to a training. You know, if you don't know my story, I did the college thing. If you don't know, you spend 12,000 hours from kindergarten to the 12th grade, and you're taught a language called employee. And basically what we're told to do is go to school and get good grades. The better grades, the better job. The better resume, the more money you're going to make. And then what happens is you get into the real world and you find out that no one really cares what your SAT score was. No one really cares what your ACT score was. And the reality is that only 3% of North America makes $60,000 a year. 1% of North America makes $100,000 plus a year, and less than 1/10 of 1% makes $250,000 a year. Now, what happened to me when I went to college, I got a degree in architecture. Took me 4 years, got a BS/AS. Then I went 2 more years and got my BBA in business. And after 6 years of college, $80,000 of going in debt, I found myself making more money with my part-time job, which was mowing lawns and landscaping, than I could with my 2 degrees. When I got introduced to the home-based business in 1995, I was told to go to my first training. And this is so important that you get this. I went to 17 trainings in a row. And the reason why I did is I thought, okay, I spent $80,000 in college in 6 years. See, I had to get what's called specialized knowledge. None of you watching this video would even expect to become a doctor without going to medical school. None of you watching this would walk into your local hospital and say, I'm here to operate on someone. And they went, where did you go to medical school? And you went, well, I didn't. I just watched some TV show. None of you watching this would go into a courtroom and say, I'm here to defend someone without going to law school. Do you know that the average doctor and lawyer in the United States of America makes a little over $100,000 a year? In other words, why does it make so much sense to you that you go to school to become a doctor, you go to school to become a lawyer, you go to school to flight school to learn how to fly a plane, but you're not sure if you should go to an MVP training? You see, the reason why we've broke more team leaders, more team coordinators, and more sales directors than any other group in North America, and now we're starting to get people that are on track for vice president, is because of our system. The staple, the backbone to that system is our training program. If you were sitting down across this desk from me right now and you said, listen, Buck, should I go to a training? My question to you would be, does it matter if you have a Lamborghini or a Ferrari in your garage that'll go 225 miles an hour if you don't know how to start it? If you don't know how to drive it? If you don't know how to shift it? It doesn't matter how fast the car is. It doesn't matter how good Dubli is. I believe most of you watching this video right now don't even really know how good Dubli is yet. When you understand this pay plan, when you understand this product, but you know what? It doesn't matter how good the product is if you don't know how to market it. It doesn't matter how lucrative the pay plan is if you don't know how it works. It doesn't matter you can get a house in Grand Cayman by going vice president or senior vice president if you don't know what it takes to do it. You see, I'll let you know the reason why I went vice president in 1 year, if I showed you my group drawn out, is the people in my group that are following the system, the people in my group that are using the training program, the people in my group that are listening to the CDs, the people in my group that are using the website, the people that are using the system are getting the best results. And the staple to that, and the most important part, is the training program. Why does it make sense to you to go in debt, to go to college, to learn how to work a job? And right now, I just gave you the statistics of what percentage of our population are making $60,000 to $250,000 a year. Why does that make sense to you? The reason it makes sense to you is because that's what everybody else is doing. I love it when I meet new people who go, oh yeah, well I've heard bad things about the home-based business arena. See, I don't even call Dubli an MLM or network marketing because it's the opposite. And I meet people go, well, yeah, I heard those things are, those things aren't real, or those things are you kidding me? This industry has produced more millionaires than any other industry. That's documented. Okay, the difference between people who fail at it and people who get really good at it is that they get trained properly. There's a couple things that you need to make big money in this industry. Number one, you have to find the right company at the right time. Number two, you have to find someone that knows how to do it. And number three, and most importantly, you have to have a system. What we have been able to do with MVP, which stands for Most Valuable People, or we kind of have an inside joke, it stands for Most Vice Presidents, is that we have a way with our training program. You see, you spent 12,000 hours from kindergarten to the 12th grade being taught a language called employee. You exchange a teacher for a boss, you exchange your report card for a paycheck, and you exchange your bus ride for a commute. And that makes sense because that's what everybody else is doing. Haven't you heard the majority rules? Well, the majority is also broke. Why wouldn't you, if you spend 12,000 hours learning a language called employee, why wouldn't you spend one weekend with us learning a language called capitalism? In other words, if you really sit down and think about it, who do you know right now? Who do you know right now that is working for someone else, that's doing the 9 to 5, that really has a lifestyle that you want to have? I believe every one of us wants to have a better life. That doesn't necessarily mean that everyone that you and I know wants to make more money, but everyone that we know wants to have a better life. And I don't know what part of your life Dubli can help improve, whether it's your family part, whether it's your spiritual part, whether it's your physical part, whether it's your emotional part, whether it's your mental part, whether it's your financial part. I don't know what part. But what I do know is that the best trained sales team wins. And the reason why our group is growing at the rate that it's growing is because my leaders, okay, one of the things I teach at leadership is that 20% of your sales team is always going to do 80% of the work, 80% of the volume. Who I spend my time with are the people that are using this system. Okay, I've never cared what level someone was to me. What I look for is I look for talent. And the people in my group that are the ones that are following the system are the ones that are getting the best results. As I started to tell you earlier, I went to 17 trainings in a row. The trainings that I went to were from $300 to $4,000. And I went 17 weekends in a row. I spent $150,000 in training in my first 5 years in this industry. For those of you that are listening to the CDs, what you're really listening to is 20 years of experience condensed down into the Trilogy CD set. What you want to do is you want to get to a training. The reason that we always offer a 100% money back guarantee is I know the importance of training. I, in almost 20 years, have never had one person ask for their money back. Why would you spend $500 to $2,500 to $6,000 to $12,000 on a business that you don't know how to do right now? Why does it make sense to do it for a business but not get trained? Do you see where I don't understand this? What I can tell you is that anyone I personally work with, I let them know up front what it takes to become successful in Dubli. And one of the things that you have to take seriously is training. I don't care if you have to fly, get on a bus, take a train, whatever you got to do, you want to get to the upcoming training. We have an entire university. This training program is one of the main reasons why Michael Hansen right now is traveling North America with me, and now we're going to other parts of the world, is because he knows that the system is working. And let me ask you a question. When you've got everything to gain and nothing to lose, the reason why I offer a money-back guarantee on any training you go to is if you go to that training and you don't think by Sunday night when we end it, it was worth what you paid to be at that training, we'll be more than happy to give your money back. The reason I do that is because you've got everything to gain and nothing to lose. The only reason why I got involved in this industry was because I went to a training. Do you know that if you said to me right now, look, Buck, should I get started with an order of $500 to $12,000 or go to a training first? I would tell you to go to a training, because I know that once you're at that training, now you know what to do in Dubli. If you said I could sponsor 10 front level TLAs or take 10 front levels to a training, I would take 10 people to a training first, because now they know what to do. And then they'll naturally come in at a higher rank or level rather, because they now understand the business model that they're in. So do me a favor, if it makes sense to you to go to grade school and high school, if it made sense to you to go to college if you could go, if it made sense to you to invest in real estate or in equities or in commodities, why is it that most people see themselves as the thing that they should invest the least in? And if you ask me what was more valuable to me, the millions of dollars I've made in this industry, or what I know, I would tell you that what I know and who I've become as a person is far more valuable to me than how much money I've made, and it's because of personal development and training. When you go to a basic, you go to an advanced, you go to a millionaire, you go to a leadership, you go to a champions, you go to a sporting event, or you go to Discovery, you will see that this university is going to teach you way more than you think it's going to teach you when you're watching this video. Do me a favor, get on the website, get signed up for the upcoming training, and I'll put my money where my mouth is. If I'm wrong, I'll be more than happy to give your money back. And like I said, in 20 years, I haven't had one person ever ask for their money back. Thank you for the time, and I can't wait to see you at the upcoming training. Take care, and we'll see you at the top.